Hello and welcome back to the channel, you guys. Today we're going to be going into a little bit more of the ExcelMaster.AI Excel plugin that I found and reviewed in my last video. So what I wanted to do actually today was kind of role play a little bit and kind of put myself as maybe a beginner or an intermediate Excel user who is working, a normal job, working at their desk, working on Excel, and their manager comes and asks them, hey, I've got this data set. Can you analyze it and determine the answers to these 3 questions that I'm going to give you? So play along with me here. So again, this is ExcelMaster.AI. There's going to be a link in the description. If you guys love what you see, please check it out. Let me know what you think, and let me know what your feedback is of the product in the comments. I would love to hear what you guys think. Any shortcomings, anything that you found that was really cool about it, or something that was simple that didn't work that should have worked. I'd love to hear it all. So let's get right into this, you guys. So as you can see here, our data set consists of orders and returns and users. Okay, so we have order data. This is as simple as it gets. Data that somebody purchased the product, who it was, what it was, how much it cost, so on and so forth. Returns is just order ID and status. And then users, we're not going to use this sheet much at all. Okay, so then we have the questions. So the manager asks the following results from the data set. We want to see the total sales of returned items and which products they were. Okay, so if we go look at orders, we don't know which ones of these are returned, right? So this is coming from the returns table. You can see we have an order ID column, and then in our orders sheet, we have another order ID column. So traditionally, what you could do is maybe set up an X lookup. You can, look up on the returns, or sorry, over here, set up an X lookup formula to return the values that had a status of returned. You could certainly do that. But again, remember, we're kind of playing as a newer or intermediate level Excel user that doesn't really know how to do that. And so this ExcelMaster.AI tool is going to come into play here to help us solve these questions that we don't really know how to answer. So we have orders, we have returns. So let's go ahead and open up ExcelMaster.AI. Okay, and for this, I'm going to use the code generation assistant, the VBA Power Query Office script here. So we'll go ahead and select that option there. We have to define what sheets we're going to be working with. Okay, so we're going to say, well, I know I need to use orders and I know I need data from returns. So we'll select those two. We'll hit submit and we'll hit OK. Now it's going to think. You can see processing now. It's basically just setting everything up for you. So here is where we're going to type in our prompt. Okay, so the question was, let's go back. Total sales of returned items and which products they were. Okay, so we're going to simply prompt that. We're going to say, can you give me the total sales? And let's go make sure our column is called sales. Okay, so we'll see. That'll be fine. Can you give me the total sales of all the product names? Just be a little bit more precise with our naming here, product names. Can you give me the total sales of all the product names that were returned? And let's see what it says, okay? So hopefully it knows that there's an order ID column. I did not mention that anywhere in my prompt. So if you don't know that you got to join based on those 2 things and you ask this prompt, let's see if it generates the correct result. All right, so it says task involves cross-referencing data sets between returns and orders. Load the returns sheet to get all returned order IDs. So it knows to look at that order ID column because those are the unique columns in both of those sheets. So that's pretty smart for it to know that rather than me having to prompt that, okay? So it's gonna say, create a dictionary to store returned IDs for a quick lookup. That makes sense. Loop through the orders, that makes sense. Okay, and so here and so on and so forth. And here is the VBA module that it provided. So let's go ahead and back up and execute this. We'll hit OK. Total sales of returned products, $43,649.55. We'll say OK. 43,000. Okay, so let's do this now. Let's go ahead and confirm that that was correct. So if we do a simple X lookup on order ID, we're going to look over on returns, order ID, and return the status of returned. So anywhere where we see the word returned, we should get a match. Okay, so let's filter to all the returns, total up the sales, and bam, look at that, $43,649.59. So that's pretty dang incredible. It did not know to use the order ID from both of the sheets. It assumed it because those are the two matching columns from both of the data sets. It created a dictionary, as you saw here. It created a dictionary to store all the order IDs, loop through the orders, check if the order ID exists in the return order dictionary, which is exactly what I just did with the XLOOKUP. So that is pretty neat, pretty powerful. Okay, so we got our first answer. So we'll mark this one as green because we know we got it right. Bam. I don't like that. We're gonna do that. Okay. Total sales by region. Okay, so if we go look at our orders here, okay, so this one, if it could do that, this should be pretty straightforward. We have region and we have sales. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. We'll just go ahead and use VBA again. We really only need orders, so we'll go ahead and hit orders. And we'll let it think for a minute. So simply, what you could do here is simply do a pivot table. But again, if you don't know how to use a pivot tables are super easy. I know, I understand. But assume you don't really know anything about Excel. Okay, so please describe. Can you give me a list of the total sales for all regions? For all regions. Okay, so this one, like I said, if it could do that first one, this one should be pretty straightforward. Now, hopefully, I asked it to give me a list, so hopefully it'll write the results somewhere in here, maybe create a new sheet, which I'm assuming that's what it's gonna do, create a new sheet and write those results in there, but we'll see. Okay, calculating total sales for all the regions. Good. Identify the orders, locate the region, column P, and sales, column X. So again, I don't have to identify, hey, it's in column X and it's in column P. It just knows. It goes and looks for those words that I used in my prompt. All right, it's looping through. It's even formatting the sales as a currency. Okay, so let's go ahead and back up and execute. Total sales by region been calculated, added to a new worksheet called region sales. And there we go, bam. Total sales. Now let's go ahead and check this real quick. East. So if we go data, filter, we'll filter the region by East, just like that. And then we'll sum this. 592,171. 592,171. Nailed it again, easy. Wasn't surprised by that one. Let's go ahead and mark this one as complete as well. Okay, so let's move on to the third question. We're gonna get the total sales of product names and sort the list from the highest to lowest. So if we go look at orders, we got our product names and our sales. We simply just wanna sum each of these unique ones up, sum their sales, and hopefully it'll create us a new sheet. I'm imagining it will. So let's go ahead and open up our ExcelMaster.AI. We will use VBA again, just because I like it. We'll go with orders. That's the sheet we're working with. Okay, and we're gonna say, can you give me a list of all the product name and the sum of its sales? Please sort the product name from highest to lowest sales in the list of product names. Okay, so again, if it can do that first one where it referenced both the orders and the returns, I would imagine that this is going to be able to provide the correct solution. I'd also imagine that it's going to create us a new sheet just like it did for the region sales. So hopefully I am correct in those assumptions. But this one, it's super straightforward. If you're not using the ExcelMaster.AI, you create a simple pivot table, you drag in product name, you drop in sales, and then you got your answer, and then you can sort it. But again, we're role playing in the idea that I have no idea what I'm doing in Excel, but I need to answer these questions for my manager. Okay, so let's see the reasoning steps. Determine the last row of the orders. Create a dictionary to store product names and their total sales. Loop through each row. Perfect. And let's go ahead and back up and execute. And let's see what it did for us. And there we go. We got our list of product names, all the unique product names, their total sales. Okay, so let's go ahead and check one. Fellows BP 500. Okay, so let's go into the product name here, and we're gonna sort for search for Fellows BP 500 is what we said. And let's go ahead and sum these sales. 69,000. We got another winner here, so this is good. I mean, I am just blown away by this tool. If you're, like I said, if you're an intermediate or beginner Excel user, this can help you in so many ways. And what's really nice, like I said before, are these reasoning steps. So like if you want to repeat this step in the future, you don't always have to come back to this ExcelMaster.AI to do this, because now you can learn from this thing, apply the same knowledge. You can save this code off if this is a regular data set that you get, you can save this module off and then just import this module into your Excel object and run this code, and then bam, it'll give you the answer. So I think this tool is going to be groundbreaking for all levels of Excel users. So like I said, please check it out, ExcelMaster.AI. It is in its early stages, but it's already extremely powerful. So love to hear what you guys think. Comment down below, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything. I want to know what you guys think about it. So let me know. Bye.